Hello everyone, it's me Marcy and I'm in my kitchen today and I want to show you a little bit about the different accessories we have that are approved for the Pampered Chef air fryer. So if you've ordered a Pampered Chef air fryer, it has come with the rotating basket and 2 of the racks, and it comes also with the rotisserie rod and clamps and a guidebook. Now all of these things, oh, and the drip tray, all of these things are available as replacement parts if you've misplaced yours, especially the book. This is genius. It's full of such good recipes. So if you've misplaced yours, we can order new ones, but your air fryer will come with all of those things. The only thing that I really believe that you have to have before you start using your air fryer are the mini mitts. These are silicone oven mitts and they are protective enough, they cover enough of my hands, but they're dainty enough to be able to pick up the tray, because the tray is kind of dainty compared to, you know, the oven rack. So I'm a big believer. They're going to get dirty most times that you use them, but because they're silicone, they can go right in the dishwasher. I'm using these 99% of the time when I cook in my kitchen, oven or otherwise. And so they go in the dishwasher every day. Just make sure you have them this way so they don't fill up with water. I have clean oven mitts every single day. Imagine, think about what your oven mitts look like right now, and imagine that you have clean ones every day. So I believe everybody needs a pair of these. After that, I want to tell you that the goodness of air frying is cooking on the rack, okay? If you cook on the rack, you could have something stick to it. You know, if you cook chicken wings or my favorite shake and bake chicken, if you put that right on the rack, it's going to stick, okay? That means that when I take the food off the rack and we start to eat, I always slip the racks into hot soapy water so that they can soak while we're eating. Then when I'm done eating, I just take a scrub brush and I loosen everything that's on there, and then I pop this right into the dishwasher. They're sparkling clean the next when they come out of the dishwasher. So that's foolproof. You can use parchment paper. On Amazon, you can buy parchment paper that has holes in it even, so that the airflow will get through. I think that's a cash grab. I think if you use your own parchment paper and poke holes in it, you'll get the very same thing. But what you save in ease of cleanup, it totally costs you in texture, okay? You either get crispy food or easy cleanup. You don't get both, okay? So it's completely worth it to cook right on the rack. That's where all the efficiency comes. When I'm cooking right on the rack, I can knock roughly 20% of the time off the cook time of the recipe, just because of how efficient it is. The airflow, the superheated airflow comes through the rack and cooks your food from all sides. If you can possibly cook on the rack, I encourage you to. There are some times when you can't cook on the rack, like if you were making brownies, for instance, so you need a pot for that. So my favorite, oh, and you can also order another air fryer rack. I think they're $17, and because when you dehydrate, you can use 3 racks at a time, okay? Your air fryer didn't come with 3 racks, it came with 2. That third flat one is meant to be up way at the top. It's a fan guard to keep things from going into the fan. So it came with 2, you can buy a third one for when you dehydrate. So if you have to cook in a pan, we do have a few that are approved. Your rack can hold 10 pounds maximum. So the combined weight of your food in the pan needs to be less than 10 pounds. That's quite a bit of weight. So let's look at what we've got here. My very favorite thing to cook with in the air fryer is these freezer storage containers. And funny enough, I think they're the most economical too. It's a set of 2 and they're $31.50. They do have these orange lids. They're meant for putting ice cream in the freezer. I don't use them for that at all, but they're really a nice little shallow vessel, and they're metal. Metal is most responsive. That means that the superheated airflow that comes only from the top, it's not coming up from the bottom at all, but the superheated airflow is going to heat the pan that will cook your food while it's baking from the top. So you get a real nice, even outside-in kind of a cooking on metal, okay? So metal is much more responsive than stoneware or cast iron, so that's why I prefer metal. You can use a foil tray in as well, as long as it doesn't cover too much of the rack. You don't want it to go right to the edges. If it goes right to the edges, you're going to be blocking that superheated airflow, and your food will probably burn on the top and be undercooked on the bottom. Okay? So these are the freezer storage containers. So if you're making brownies or something like that, I would totally put half a batch, a small batch rather, like this on the racks. At halftime, I would change it to like this, and that's what I would do. I cooked a wee little pork roast in these one time too. It had a bone, so I couldn't put it on the rotisserie, and it turned out really quite nice. So those are the freezer storage containers. They're $31.50. That's my favorite. My next favorite would probably be these cake pans. So these are the coolest cake pans. Since I got these, I've been making 6-inch like tall skinny cakes. So there's 4 in the set, and it makes one perfect cake mix, and it makes a really nice, it's a really nice cake, a tall and skinny, very trendy looking cake. You can use 2 at a time in your air fryer, same way, like that on the racks. It's 6 inches across, so you could make a nice little casserole or something in there, some macaroni and cheese or something like that. So those are $38 for the set of 4 pans, and you'll get extra use out of those when you're making cakes in your conventional oven. The next thing that fits, and I don't use it in there very often, is the fluted pan that comes, or it is available for the quick cooker. So this is a nonstick pan. It makes a mean banana loaf in the air fryer. Okay, so it's a nice little fluted pan. It makes a half a cake mix in the oven or in your pressure cooker, your 6-quart pressure cooker. And so it has multiple uses that way. And it is $26, okay? And then I have the springform pan also for the quick cooker. So this springform pan makes a great cheesecake in the pressure cooker, in the oven. It's a half-size cheesecake, and I quite like making a 2 brick of cream cheese cheesecake as opposed to a 4, mostly because it doesn't stay around for days on end, and I feel like I have to eat a piece for breakfast every day. But this one makes a half a cheesecake. It's perfect in the oven, in the pressure cooker, or it really is just a vessel you can cook with in your air fryer. So I don't use the springform quality in the air fryer, but it is a really great metal pan that will conduct to the heat nice and well, and you'll be happy with what you're cooking in there. Plus it has all that other use. All right, so those are the metal pans that I would, in my kitchen, I would use in there. Those are approved from Pampered Chef. So aside from that, we have a set of 2 cast iron mini pans, and I love these. Now cast iron takes longer to heat, but it stays hot longer. So it has a really different use. So that superheated airflow that I've been talking about, it's not going to heat this up as efficiently as it will heat up a metal pan, okay, because of the nature of cast, but it'll stay hot longer. So I love these for individual, I put a couple scoops of cookie dough in there and I bake them and then serve ice cream on them, and we eat right out of the pan for little skillet cookies. You could do mac and cheese in here. You could do a whole meal. They're 5.5 inches. So these are the smaller of the round pans that I've shown you. But these did come out with intentions of being used on the campfire and in the air fryer. So we do have another cast iron piece. And this is my favorite of the cast iron. This is the smallest. This is the 1-quart enameled cast iron baker. So it has a really nice non-stick inside. It's beautiful, and it matches the cast iron Dutch oven that I love so much. So this is the heaviest piece I'm telling you about. So when you put it on your tray, it's already 3 pounds. So you have to be careful to not put more than 7 pounds of food in there, because 10 pounds is the max for each tray, okay? So this pan, I did hear someone with a really smart tip that because it takes a little bit longer, it's cast, and because it takes a little bit longer to heat up, they give it a little bit of a head start. So let's say you're making that egg dish that I make in here, which is frozen hash browns and then some omelet toppings and then some scrambled eggs with a dash of cream all mixed up, and I bake it in the air fryer in this pan. I would put this on the stove top, and I would preheat the bottom, just get it nice and hot on the bottom before I put it into the air fryer, and then the superheated airflow really just has to keep it warm. It doesn't have to, you know, start from scratch sort of thing. So I'm a big fan of this one. It's the biggest, you know, surface area. It'll hold the most of all the things I've shown you so far. I also love that it has a short side, because everything happens with this superheated airflow. So if you have too high of a side, it could have a hard time baking evenly because of the, you know, the side just simply blocks the wind. Okay, so that is, did I tell you how much that is? This is $65. And did I tell you these two little mini cast iron pans? It's a set of 2 for $60. This one is 1 pan for $65. And then this is the ceramic pot, and it's meant to go with the quick cooker as well. So I love it for pressure cooking, but it's really nice to make something that you need deeper, you know, like scalloped potatoes or a lasagna. Lasagna in the springform pan is legit. Though, if you've never tried that, that's a really good one. So anything that you're putting in here, and I mean pre-cooked stuff, I wouldn't probably cook lasagna from, you know, hard noodles in the air fryer, but whatever you're putting, some casserole type thing inside the ceramic pot, it looks beautiful when you serve it in this really understated ceramic pot. Okay, so those are the pans that I would use in the air fryer. The next thing that I would think you might want is a kitchen spritzer, because sometimes when you bread something, you know, if you're putting a breading on your pork chops or your chicken wings, you may want to spritz it with just the tiniest slight sheen of olive oil before you cook it, just to crisp up that, you know, to activate that breading and get it nice and crisp. So this is a really quick way to just get the slightest little sheen. I use it with my sheet pan in the oven quite often as well. And then you need a good set of tongs. And our chef's tongs, these are the small ones. Oh, that was $35 for the kitchen spritzer. The chef tongs are $25, and they are like another pair of hands. These are my very favorite tongs in the kitchen. I like them so much nicer than the large ones. And they have silicone tips, and I use them on the barbecue. I use them to get the corn on the cob out of the pot. I use them for canning lids, all sorts of things. They're like another pair of hands, and they lock when you put them one way, and they unlock when you put them the other way. So these are super handy. So love the tongs. And then the very last thing I want to show you, this is available separately. It is the skewer set. So if you order the skewer set for the air fryer, you'll get this. It's 2 kind of wheels. You use the rotisserie rod, and then you get 8 skewers, which you can buy replacement skewers, so you can have them ready. Should you, you know, if you're making shish kebabs or whatever, you can have extras ready to go on when the first ones come out. These are flat. Can you see that really? They're nice and flat, so that when I put the meat on here and they start turning, they're not going to spin. Okay, so that really helps to grip it. And so what we do here is we put the wheel on top of or we string it onto the rotisserie rod. Oh, I haven't got that unscrewed. I can't fit it in there. Okay, so we string that on and tighten the screws. Okay, and then we take one of the skewers and line it with, you know, pork and pineapple and onions and cherry tomatoes and whatever else, and we poke the pokey end through one of the holes. Okay, and then the hook end we just sort of pinch together, and whoop, I need both hands. We pinch it together and then just set it in the groove. Okay, so this end is always going to be the pokey end in the hole. Okay, and then this end, we just pinch the hook together and set it right there in the groove. And we keep doing that all the way around, and we can fill all 8, and then this just sets into the air fryer just like the rotating basket does, or the rotisserie rod. Any of those things, they all work the same. So when they introduced the air fryer, Pampered Chef told us that our accessory game would be strong, and they have not disappointed. This is so ingenious. It's one of the things that sets our air fryer apart from the others on the market, and I think that we can expect more to come. So I'm a big fan of all of these things, but going back to my beginning statement, the only thing you need to get started with your air fryer is the mini mitts. Don't forget to order yours. All right, if you have questions, let me know. Take good care, everyone.